Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this video I'm doing a troll game on the map Blue Lakes. I'm standing in the top right position playing as the Allies. So in this game we're playing on a medium-sized map, so it's a bit smaller than the maps I usually play troll games on. So it's going to be a bit harder because I'm probably going to be located closer to my enemies. I'm going to be just doing normal rules like no tanks, no armoured vehicles, anything like that, so it's no rangers, no artillery. But everything else is okay, and immediately we can see that red is really close to me. So what I'm going to need to do here is build quite a few infantry, get my economy going, and we're going to need to get into some combat early on. I'm also sending some infantry to the left of my base just to check that I'm not attacked from that direction. I'm also building a war factory, but remember I'm not going to be able to build any tanks from that. I'm going to be building ore trucks for the economy, and you can see red trying to advance with a few infantry, but they've been taken down quite quickly, and now I'm just going to push a little bit further forward. This person is playing as the Soviets, so he will have access to things like flame towers, which are a really good defence against infantry. And now I've got my first war factory out. I'm going to be building some more trucks, and I'm building a second ore refinery, and we're trying to push a bit closer. We can see that red has got a war factory, but he's got quite a few infantry there, but we managed to take them down. He's just ran them in, which was a bit of a mistake. And we can see him building a small power plant now. And we're going to have to see what he builds from that war factory first of all. We started to take it down now, and we'll have to see if we're able to get it down all the way. He's got the repair going, he's got some infantry maybe coming in, so that's a bad placement as well of our second ore refinery. Messed that up a little bit, but unfortunately he's got rid of those infantry, and we can see he's now got a heavy tank out. What I'm going to use, because I can't use tanks, is I'm going to use some boats and build some destroyers where we can see that heavy tank coming in, and what I'm using is X just to scatter my infantry and just do some major damage to that heavy tank, which is nearly taken out now. We can also see my opponent building a flame tower, and that's going to make it really hard for my infantry to push in. But I have got destroyers on the field now, and you can see that war factory being very close to the edge. So I'm able to hit it with that destroyers, and you can see it straight away. He's bringing that tank in now, but that tank's on low HP and goes down pretty quickly. We can also see him building an ore truck, so he's trying to improve his economy, but now we've got quite a few destroyers, 3 destroyers on there, and you can see that war factory is starting to loot HP quite quickly, and he has sold it, and now he's bringing those infantry forwards. I've got lots of pillboxes though, so I'm not too worried, even though he's taken out those initial infantry. And now we're going to try and hit his other buildings, his power plants, and I'm building some more infantry so I can do a bit of scouting and get a visual on some more of his buildings. But taking out some of those power plants at the moment, that's going to slow his building speed, and still having a bit of issues with these ore refineries. I haven't had time to manage my ore trucks. And now we can see his ore refinery there, and also his construction yard, which is also quite close to the edge. So once we destroy that ore refinery, that's going to take out his way of getting resources. And yeah, you can see his ore trucks have stopped now, and now we're going for his construction yard so he can't build anymore. And red is out of the game. So I don't have to worry too much now about building any more destroyers in that lake. I've got plenty enough because that lake isn't very big and it only covers this part of the map. But what I am going to do is I'm going to build some MCVs, because the next stage, now I've got rid of the opponent closest to me, is to do a bit of scouting. So I'm going to be scouting the middle right position and also the top middle of the map, and I'm going to be expanding to those sections so I can start mining resources there, because you can see I've got far too many ore trucks for the area of the map which I'm on. And I'm just putting these destroyers over the lake just so hopefully I can see anyone who's coming. I've also built a second war factory just so I can build these MCVs a little bit quicker. For me, the next stage of the game is just about expanding and getting a super strong economy. And we can see that this patch in the middle right of the map, you can see how much ore there is, and that's just because it hasn't been mined and it's been allowed to grow for this part of the game. I'm also going to move another MCV to the top middle of the map, so we can see it's pretty strong there, and I'm going to be building some ore refineries to mine in that position of the map. And I've got my other MCV going to the opposite side, And we don't want to move our MCVs too far at the moment. We just want to move it to the next available ore patches, because what we don't want to do is antagonise the other enemies in this game. And they may well be fighting because, as I say, it's not that big of a map. It's only medium-sized. So they're probably going to be quite close together at the bottom of the map. I think I was probably the closest position I could possibly be to an enemy in this game. Which is sort of, I mean, it's like, it's good and bad. The bad thing is you have to fight really early on. It does hamper your economy. But the good thing is we were able to get rid of them early on in the game. I'm just moving some of those ore trucks and stopping them working because they're just doing long distance mining and using up too many resources. I want to give my resources a chance to grow near the main part of my base so I can use them later if needed. And I'm going to get my radar dome out. Now, I don't have too much map visibility. You can see I've got an infantry actually at the bottom of there, which has scouted the right side of the map. And we can see there's not any opponents there. They're probably going to be more to the bottom left of the map. There's actually another lake there as well, so I might be able to do some destroyers and cruisers maybe in that part of the map. We are going to build another MCV just to get it further down the map. But you can see me expanding on some more ore patches. And this is really important for the long game. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to spread my ore trucks on different ore patches so they're going to last a lot longer. Because you can see at the start of the game, when I wasn't able to do this, you can see the ore patches right next to my base are completely depleted. And that's what happens if you have too many ore trucks working on the same ore patches. And I'm just stopping these ore trucks near my base because they've just depleted them too much. And we're getting another MCV laid down and going to be building another ore refinery. And that's nice and close to that ore patch. And getting extra power. And you can see my economy is going pretty well at the moment. And what I need to do is I need to build these defences because we can see that yellow has some tanks just below me. And he could attack at any time, so I need to be a bit prepared if he's going to do that. Although I do have like quite a few construction yards out, so I am going to have this faster building speed and just building some pillboxes as a bit of a precaution. He's also playing as the allies as well, so he might have a tech centre, which will give him full map visibility. So I'm going to build a gap generator there so you can't see those pillboxes. He'll know my base is there though because he'll be able to see the black area of the map. Construction complete. And just getting some more power plants out and getting an extra MCV once again, just so I can expand a bit more. I've also got a chronosphere now, so I'll be able to teleport things to different parts of the map when needed. And just really building this defence around this section at the moment, because I do think this is the first partial attack, and for the first time we see some ore trucks from our opponents. So those ore trucks mining on the ore patches below the ones I'm at now. So we are going to want to deal with them in a bit, but for now I'm just going to be focusing a bit more on defence. I'm just putting pillboxes at all the entrances to my base, so wherever he attacks, it's going to have a bit of defence already installed there. So now we're defending the middle right of the map, and we can see there's still lots of ore there, so lots of resources to gather. Construction complete. And yeah, placing another ore refinery, just looking for the best place to put it. And we can see there's a big ore patch there that I'm going to be able to mine. I'm doing quite well for ore as well at the moment, so that's not a problem. And now I've got full map visibility, and we can see that yellow's base is quite big and it's located just below my base. We can also see green that's located in the bottom left, and it looks like green hasn't really expanded, although we can also see a service depot from yellow, which means that yellow may have extra MCVs, and we'll be able to find out. But he hasn't built any gap generators yet, and yeah, we can see definitely there's the proof. There's another MCV there, and my chronosphere is getting ready soon, so I'm going to be able to export my MCV to another part of the map when needed. And I'm also going to expand my bottom right base down to the bottom right and just start mining some of those ore patches, because I can see right where my enemy is at the moment and where he's likely to attack. So there's my MCV, and I'm going to move it in an aggressive position right next to yellow's MCV and get an ore refinery down there straight away. Get a naval yard down, and now I'm going to start building some cruisers on that patch. But you can see his army's coming in, his tanks on the attack. Now I'm not too worried about you losing a construction yard. I'm just going to try and place as many pillboxes down as I can, And as long as I keep some buildings in this section of the map, I'm going to be in a strong position. And now you can see those cruisers starting to come out, and he's starting to focus on those cruisers. I'm just going to move them away, and we've got a second cruiser go out as well. And you have to remember, I've still got like a decent building speed from those naval yards, because I do have the naval yards at home, and I'm going to just try and build another one right in the middle there, so it's hard for the tanks to reach. And you can see those two cruisers doing quite a bit of damage, and now yellow's having to pull back. And we've got our naval yards back there, and now we've got our pillboxes in a really strong position. We've got good numbers, so it's going to be really hard to destroy them all, especially when they're under cruiser fire. And now just placing one of those, another oil refinery there, and you can see those tanks coming in again. But now that I've got more cruisers, it's going to put them in a really hard position. We also have to take notice that green are to the bottom left, but they don't seem to be too aggressive. They seem to be sitting in the base, so I think we're going to be okay now. We can see now yellow coming in with more medium tanks, but a lot of those tanks on low HP, and those cruisers doing some fine damage to them. And yeah, yellow is having to pull back now. The pillboxes and the tank fire together are just too much. And we can see some helicopters there from yellow attacking green's base. But green is not the one he has to worry about at the moment. That's me. And I'm going to assume that yellow does have a tech centre at the moment, so he might be getting map visibility at some point. And you can see those ore trucks on my ore patch to the top middle of the map. So I think I'm just going to attack him. The other option would be to start putting pillboxes around that point, but then he'll sort of like, that'll cause him to try and attack my base instead. So I'm going to go on the offensive here and just placing some of those ore silos down. Unfortunately, they're not close enough though to that water to get a naval yard on there. So I'm going to have to just go across that patch there. You can see there's a little gap there. And if I get my ore silos across there, then I'll be okay. I'm going to place some pillboxes as well, just so they can cause a bit of damage to the ore trucks. And you can see still those helicopters going around, and now those boats firing on those pillboxes, because they do fire automatically. And what I'm trying to do is just get them to a safe place away from the fire, and be able to place some naval yards. So we're going to place them down here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building some destroyers, because they do a bit better, I think, in boat fights when we're in positions like this. And if I place some naval yards further up, hopefully that'll cause the boats to fire on other things other than the destroyers. So keep on placing some naval yards down. Unfortunately, both those naval yards have gone down, and I'm just going to try and get some of those cruisers down, because cruisers just do so much damage against buildings. And yeah, you can see those buildings going down. And unfortunately, I've lost all those pillboxes and ore silos that were close, so we're letting me destroy that base. So I'm going to go a bit further up, and we're going to try and just fire a bit. You can see that ore refinery though really low on HP, so we might be able to get that down soon. I'm just trying to get another naval yard established, but we're having a bit of a tough time at the moment with all these cruisers. And yeah, we've got another one down, and we'll have to see if he decides to fire on that yet again. But what I'll do is just going to see if I can build an extra naval yard. But you can see these pillboxes going down again, and I'm going to build, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack his army, his naval army, with some turrets, and hopefully this will deflect some of the fire away from my naval units, so I'm able to build a little bit of an army. And you can see those turrets doing quite a bit of damage to his boats, his destroyers and his cruisers, and they're starting to be taken out. And yeah, now you can see my boats have really built in. I've got a lot of destroyers there, and they're going to be able to easily clear up his boat units, and we've been able to take the middle part. So now it looks like it's going to be maybe a bit of a one-way fight. You can see that yellow's got a lot of his helicopters, but I've got a lot of turrets. I'm in his base now, and our naval units doing quite a bit of damage. And we're going to be able to get on top of those helicopters and be able to take them out quite soon. But those helicopters on the move to my base, it looks like, in the top right. And oh no, they've gone from tech centre, so I am going to have a bit of map visibility reduced a little bit. But you can see I've already got, like, even with map visibility gone, I've still got most of the map uncovered because my base is just almost everywhere at the moment. So it's not too bad. I'm going to build that tech centre again and place it down. I'm also going to be able to get rid of those helicopters soon. So I'm just going to place a gap. I should have done that a lot earlier, but I was just focused on other things, taking out buildings and all that stuff. So now I'm just going to place a few more gap generators around. I'd also build a second tech centre, but I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference now. We'll have to see if Yellow's got any plans. We can see some tanks coming in to the top middle of the map, and we're going to try and defend this best we can. We'll just place some pillboxes quite quickly and just try and take out all of those tanks. And you can see those tanks' HPs dropping quite quickly. And yeah, he's not going to be able to get that. I didn't even have to repair it in the end. And now we're going to try and take out those helicopters that have caused us a little bit of trouble in this game. So now that our pillboxes are around this point in the map, we're going to start taking out a lot of those helicopters, and they are going to get destroyed pretty quickly. So yeah, those a lot of them going down. He's just starting to move them now, but I think he's not going to be able to really recharge them, and we're going to be able to take out those helipads as well in a bit. But you can see those ore trucks coming in now, and because I'm right through his base, those ore trucks are being destroyed, so his economy is going to be crippled. I'm also going to get my radar dome out, which he's managed to take out as well, just so I can see what's going on in different parts of the map. And you can see not a good time, and those helicopters have dropped just next to my pillbox in this part of the map, so we're going to be able to take out those as well. And it's just no safe place for Yellow at the moment. We're coming in from all sides. I'm now taking in pillboxes from the top of the map as well. So we're going from it to it into his base from multiple directions. And you can see only one helicopter left, and that has now been taken out. We're going to start taking out his radar dome, and we can see he's got some light tanks there. Now, light tanks won't do well against these pillboxes because they do have very low HP compared to medium tanks. So the bad choice when you're trying to fight base defences. And you can see a couple of those light tanks getting on very low HP. And as we get more pillboxes, that's going to become worse and worse. Only one tank left. We can see a medium tank to the right, and that's going to be taken out by the sheer amount of pillboxes we've got as well. And we're just taking out as much as we can at the moment. And we've also got a pillbox firing on his tech centre, so he's going to lose complete map visibility, and that is going to be good game for Yellow. And now we can see the full map once again. Now that's quite quick, so I think building an extra tech centre might reduce the cooldown time of the satellites, but I'm not sure about that. But it might double the speed, because it does seem quite quick that I've got full map visibility once again. So yeah, that's probably something I need to find out. Well, I guess I wouldn't use it in a normal match, but yeah, it does look like that building that extra tech centre did increase my research time for the satellite compared to what was usual. And we can see that Yellow has called it good game, and he was actually doing an attack on my main base, almost got to my tech centre. I've got two now, but he could have possibly destroyed those. Once again, that would have been really annoying. But now, Yellow is officially out of the game, and now it's just Green left in. We can see that Green is condensed in the bottom left, and he's already lost almost all of his buildings. So this is just going to be a quick kill. I don't know if our cruisers were firing before. I know that Yellow was taking out some of Green's buildings as well. So he is well and truly out of the game, and that is good game. So, a bit of a smaller map, a bit more action-packed at the start. The key thing was getting rid of that opponent close to me early. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video.